Okay, great. So welcome to Photoshop. This is the interface of Photoshop. This is how it looks like when you launch this software for the first time. Okay, so great. I am using Photoshop 2023 version, okay, the earlier version. So probably you might be working with the 2022, but not much difference, just some few new tools they have introduced here and there, and I'll make sure that we go through them, okay, and then the very new things that you may have to know, I'll introduce you to them too as well. Okay, so let's start by creating a new file. Okay, you can see from the interface here, because I am using MacBook, you realize that my menus are up here. Okay, so it's not anything much of a difference. The Windows version has the menu items, okay, as part of what the app interface here, but with Mac they are on the Mac tab. Okay, great. So let's create a new file. Now here you see new file, you see open, and then you see home. So home basically takes you to what, to the landing page of the software, and then open allows you to open an existing work or a saved work. Okay, so if I should click on open, it opens a dialog box for me, which allows me to access any work that I have done already, for any work I have done already, okay, and open it in Photoshop. It could be an image, it could be a Photoshop file, okay, depending on what you want to do. Okay, so these are files that were done in Photoshop. If I want to open it, I can easily open, select a file, and then open the work, okay, if I want to. Okay, great. Now you can also drag and drop a file, or you can select here also, which is another way you can what, open files. Okay, so if you don't want to use the open tab here, you can select what, the select file option, and then you select the file you want. Okay, great. So let's look at a new file. So I click on new file. Now it gives me what, this new document dialog box. Okay, now we have gone ahead to explain these things in class, but let's take time to look at it once again. Now from the recent tab, you can see that I have custom sizes or preset sizes that I have used over the time for my documents. Okay, these are frequently used what, custom sizes. So you can see here I have A4, I have a custom size, an iPhone size, I have custom. Okay, so these are sizes that I have been working with for some time now. Okay, good. Now if you want templates, then you can go for what, templates. Okay, search for templates, okay, from Adobe stock, which will take you online. You can do that, and then off you go. Now saved here allows you to save a custom size that you have actually, or you actually use for some time. Okay, for instance, if I have a banner size, okay, let's say a 4x8 banner size that I frequently use, then I can customize that size, okay, here, and then save it. So I just have to know the width and height of the size here, select my unit of measurement, okay, set the width and height. So if it's 4x8, then I can say 48. Okay, why? Because a 1 foot, okay, ruler is equal to 12 inches. So if I multiply 4, okay, by 12, it should give me what, 48. If I multiply 8 by 12, it should give me 96. Okay, so that's why I have 96 here. So I can save this as a custom size. So I go to here, and then I select save as what, preset. Okay, so I can say this is a 8 by 4 banner. Okay, then I can save this size down, so that anytime I want to do any banner that has to do with 4x8, or maybe a bigger size, or because this is a size I frequently use, then I can save it there. Okay, good. Now then to photo. Okay, photo allows you to select default or templates or sizes that relates to what photography. So if you have anything that does with photography, then you can select that. And then print also allows you to select sizes that deals with what, with print sizes. Okay, good. And then we have art and illustration, we have web and mobile, which is the areas we will be focusing on here. So these are web sizes that we might want to work from. Okay, so we'll be working from the most common used, okay, which is the default one, which is 13600 by 768. Okay, so we'll be using that quite often. And then we come to the mobile, which we'll be using any of the sizes depending on your phone type or whatever size you want to use. Okay, good. And then we have film and video, which allows us to work with some petty film and video documents here. It doesn't allow you to do a full video editing per se, but it allows you to do some small overlays, some quick let's say animations. You want to apply some small quick video transitions and whatever lower text, okay, that you want to do. You can edit your design and then make it animated, whichever way you want to do it. It's possible here, but it doesn't give you the room to edit full resolution, like very huge files videos. This is not a software for that, but this can allow you to do very short videos. Okay, short videos or clips, I should say, that you can post on social media, whatever this thing you want to use it for. Okay, great. So let's go back to web. Okay, because this is the size we commonly will be working with. Okay, so, or we can go back for a print A4. So that I'll select letter rather. I would want to change the orientation to what? To portrait. Now we have taken our time to go through these also. Okay, so here you get the width and height, okay, of our document. We get the orientation, you get our resolution, okay, we get our color mode. Depending on which color mode you are working with, we are dealing with modes with the display what designs. Okay, we are doing for display, so we don't need to select CMYK. You know what that means already. Okay, so we are designing for display, not for print. So we use what, the RGB what, color mode. Okay, good. So here we select that. Make sure our resolution is always on what, 300, because that is what the standard resolution. We have explained that resolution is the amount of dots per square inch of an image. Okay, so it means that in the square inch of each image we are going to have what, 300 what dots or pixels. Okay, so that is it. And then now by the orientation you can see some artboards. Okay, now I explained that artboards allows us to have multiple what, pages in a single document. For instance, if you are designing a website which has multiple web pages to make the website, it means that you need all these pages within the same document. That is why I explained that the artboard tool also allows us to what, to add what, pages, or we can tick here and then it converts our document into what, an artboard what document for us, which will allow us to what, to add multiple what, pages. Okay, good. So I'll leave it there and then let's create a new document. So I create. Great. So you realize here that my document has become what, an artboard here. Okay, which means that it will allow me to what, to add multiple pages to the document if I want to. Okay, good. Now with our document created, now we can see clearly how the interface of Photoshop looks like. Okay, so we have our menu bars up here, we have our title bar here, we have our options bar just beneath what, the title bar. Now the options bar changes in response to what, the tool that is selected. So anytime you select a tool, anytime you select an option or an element, an object, it changes to give you what, further settings, or I should say properties, to that particular tool or object that you want to work on. So it lets you know further things, or more, gives you more options to what you can do to that particular element, okay, or object. Great. So now, aside that, there is the panels here, okay. So on our right side, you can see the panels, which we'll see how to customize that shortly. So I have a character and then a paragraph panel, and then I have my layers panel, okay. I did this because these are the panels I frequently use as a designer, okay. So depending on what you use, you can customize them. And then I have docked some here. So I have a history plugin, history palette here. I have my plugins also there. I have my info also there. I have my brush settings and brushes also there, okay. So depending on what I want, okay, then at the time, then I can dock it to that place, so that when I need it automatically, I can get it from there, okay. So on the left side is our tools. So here we have tools that I frequently use. Now there are some tools that might not be added here. So at the bottom part here, you can see 3 dots. So if you click on this, it allows you to edit your tools. Now I have added all my extra tools here. Some of you might be having extra tools here, so then you can drop them. You drag and drop. So if I don't want this, for instance, I can drag this one and drop it back, okay. So if I want it back, which is a lasso tool, it's the marquee tool, I can drag this and drop it into the area I want it. So you have to make sure that it falls within the same family, because this is a marquee tool, okay. Great. So if you are okay, then you click on done. Now there's another way we can go around this if the tool is not active here. So we can go to edit on the menu bar, and then we select toolbar, okay. So with the toolbar selected, I can get the same customize toolbar dialog box, and then I can do the same thing, okay. So if you are done, then you click on done, and then the tools will be active. Now on the tools bar also, you can see that there is a small tiny rectangle at the tip, the bottom right tip there. So if you click and hold there, now it reveals extra tools that have been hidden in the toolbox, okay. So for instance, I have the elliptical marquee tool selected. Now if I click and hold on that, you see that it reveals the extra tools that comes under that particular family of tools, okay. So same applies to all of them, which has the rectangle at the tip there, bottom tip there. So see that this one is alone, the frame tool is alone, so it has no options, okay, of hidden tools. So anytime you see that, it means that there are hidden tools there that we can select from. Now if I select a tool, if you can notice that my options bar keeps changing depending on the tool that is selected, okay. So if I select a tool, then I can do whatever I want to do with more options, okay. Great. Now with this selected, if I come to workspaces here, okay, this is my workspaces, or I can go to window and select workspaces, okay. So these are the default workspaces that I use, okay. So this is the default workspace I have set for my software. Now I can change to any other workspace. If I change to any other workspace, you see that the panels keep changing. It changes to adjust the panels, okay, depending on the mode that you want to work in, okay. So if I change the mode to 3D, now you see that it brings up panels that relates to 3D. If I change to motion, okay, then it brings up things that has to do with video. So you see that I have my video timeline active, okay. So depending on what you want to do, and then the kind of workspace you can create. If I want to work on photography, then I can change, and then it gives me my actions, my properties, my layers, and then my brushes. Okay, so things that relates to what, to photography, then those properties or panels comes up. Okay, so how then do we customize a workspace? So for instance, if I select this, okay, which is web and graphic and web, okay, now I want to customize this to what I want. So now I can decide to go to new workspaces. I see new workspaces here, and then I save it. I go to new workspace and then save to what I want. So maybe the name is tutorials. So this is the workspace I want to have there. So I want to include all keyboard shortcut, all menu author, and all toolbar, and then I save it. Now if I save this and I come here, I can see that my current workspace is in what, tutorials. So I can take off certain things that probably I don't want it. So for instance, this property bar panel, I want to dock it into what, this here, so that I have space here. So now if this is done, I can go back to what, to reset or delete it or new workspace or save on it. Immediately I do that, automatically it even saves on it. Okay, so whichever way I want it, I can reorganize like that. So if I come back to Ernest, and then it has a similar what, workspace. So if I come back to, let's see, let me select 3D. Now it changes. Let's go back to tutorial. And now it comes to what, the tutorial environment workspace I have set. Okay, so it depends on how you want to work, and then the kind of environment that what is set for your software. Okay, great. So this is what I want for my interface. Okay, so now we know how the interface works like. Now for the menu items, now it's just like any other software where you have file, edit, view, window, and help. These things are basically constant with every software. Okay, the new things here that you might not know is the image layer, the image item, the layer type. You are familiar with type because it has to do with anything what, text. Okay, so the select, filter, 3D, plugins. Okay, so basically these are some of the new things. So as we work, we will get to understand how these menus help us in our design. Okay, but to explain, plugins are basically third-party softwares you run on your software. So I explained in class that there are plugins. For instance, the most common and popular plugin are the retouch, okay, plugins for photographers. We have alien skin, eye candy, okay, that we can use for text. Okay, you can change text into any style, any particular feel that we want. For instance, if you want your text to be fire, you can use that. If you want your text to be ice, you want your text to be water, you want your text to be a rope. Okay, so you can use that plugin to help enhance our work if we want to. Okay, so basically these are some of the things. Some like 3D, we might not get the time to go into it because this is not our area. Okay, so we are doing UI UX, so we'll basically focus on the flat 2D designs. Okay, good. So this is the interface of Photoshop 2023.